This is not a natural disaster.
Right.
This is not a mistake.
It's a man-made disaster.
And we need to start using the proper words when we talk about this. 10 people have been killed in Flint. 10 people were killed here because of a political decision.
That's right.
To save money.
That's right.
And put at lives.
That's
the risk the lives of people here in a city
That's right.
that is majority African American, where 41% live below the official poverty line.
That was Michael Moore in his hometown of Flint 11 days ago. Here is Michigan Governor Rick Snyder in Flint today.
Their goal is to get the water coming out of the tap safe as soon as possible. Let's take care of the people of Flint about making sure they short-term have bottled water, filters, everything else they need, and then how do we get good water coming out of the tap, and then how do we rebuild the community?
The governor was a no-show at Rachel Maddow's town hall tonight in Flint.
We asked Governor Rick Snyder himself multiple times if he would please come tonight to this town hall and talk with the residents of Flint. He never said no. He never said anything.
Joining us now, Michael Moore, Flint hometown boy. Michael, big surprise. The governor didn't come to the town meeting tonight.
Certainly not to Rachel's, because she's been all over this for months. Long before any of the other national media came to Flint, Rachel was there. And I know everybody in Flint tonight was very happy and proud to have her there.
You have said, you've made this point, and what I like about it, there's an echo to what Harry Shearer kept saying for years about Katrina. It was not a natural disaster.
Right.
This was a man-made disaster.
Correct.
By inadequate structures and designs by the Army Corps of Engineers in New Orleans. We didn't have to have that flooding. And there was nothing, everything about it was man-made.
That's correct. It was man-made by a governor who belongs to a political party whose philosophy has been, since Ronald Reagan was elected in 1980, that they believe that less government is better, and the trickle-down economic theory, the philosophy that says that, you know, we only really have to listen to the 1% who put us into office. So if you live in a city where over 40% of the people live below the official poverty line, where 60% of the city is African American,
yeah,
we don't need, so what?
Yeah,
that's really the attitude, and everybody in Flint knows this. They've been complaining about this for almost 2 years. As soon as the water started coming out of the taps in April of 2014, the rashes, the sores, the smell, everything told you something was seriously wrong here. And they would put it in the bottles of water and take it, you know, down to Lansing, because there was no government in Flint. You understand that? The so-called emergency manager thing, which you guys have covered very well, that's just an Orwellian term, emergency manager. What happened was that the governor took over, fired the elected officials, the mayor and the city council.
When there was no emergency at all.
When there was no emergency. When there was no, if anything, there's been, the emergency was like back around 1982 when General Motors started closing factories and moving them to third world countries. That's when somebody should have sounded the emergency whistle. But no, he took them over and basically installed his crony. Essentially, Flint has operated under a dictator now for these many years, where the people have no say, and the dictator said to the governor, you know what, I can save you $15 million if we just take the water, make them drink it out of the Flint River. And the governor's people are like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And then there's like one voice in the room, and he goes, you know, it might be a little dangerous if we just put this one chemical in the water. It's safe. It's a safe chemical to drink. It'll seal the lead in the pipes so that it won't leach into the water. And somebody in the room goes, how much that's going to cost? And the guy goes, $100 a day for 3 months. That's too damn much money. We're here to save money because, you see, Governor Snyder had just cut $1 billion worth of taxes for the rich in Michigan, for the corporations in Michigan. So it's like he's now looking for ways to cut services and costs. And one of the ways they thought of cutting was to stop having people in Flint drink from Lake Huron, which is a glacial lake formed 10,000 years ago in the last ice age, as pure as a lake could be these days. Stop drinking that water and start drinking from the Flint River. Do you have to be from Flint to understand when you hear the words Flint River?
I get it.
Yeah. Does anybody like why? If I say that Flint,
as soon as I heard there was a river in Flint, it was all.
If I said right now that the governor of New York has just instructed that the citizens of New York shall now drink from the Gowanus Canal, I don't think you have to be here to know what that means. Not a good idea. And nobody listened. And right away, right from the beginning, he was told, something's not right here, and he just turned his head the other way. It was just. I went to this 100th birthday celebration of Arthur Miller the other night here in town, and they read from his plays. And all my sons, the story of a factory owner who was making parts at World War II for the airplanes, and he sees that on a crate some of the parts are cracked, and he convinces himself, that's probably okay, just a little crack, and then of course. First plane comes down, kills 23 soldiers, and now the cover-up begins. The rationalization begins. This governor, man, I'll tell you, this not only they were calling for his resignation because they were being polite because Rachel was there, but we want him arrested. We want the Attorney General in D.C. to come in and investigate and prosecute this individual. You know, it'd be one thing if he's just dumb and he didn't know. But they knew.
You live in a country where you can get arrested for driving recklessly without having injured anyone. Just by driving recklessly, doing something that's potentially dangerous can get you arrested.
Yes, even if it wasn't, quote, your fault.
Right.
You know, because you weren't paying attention. If you ran a 4-year-old over, if your car goes up over the curb and kills a 4-year-old, you more than likely are going to have to go to jail because you were reckless.
There will be liability.
You can't say, I didn't plan to do it. I didn't intend to do it. Well, that's just too bad because you've killed a 4-year-old. You know, but this is far worse because they knew in trying to save money, in trying to cut costs while they were cutting taxes for the rich. This is what's so evil about this. This is what has got people so infuriated in Flint. And frankly, people have had it. They don't want to, you know, I wrote this thing today on my website about, you know, stop sending bottles of water. This is not what, there's 100,000 people. The Detroit Lions delivered 100,000 bottles of water on Friday. It was a beautiful gesture, but that's one bottle per person. That's enough to brush your teeth with today. No amount of bottled water is going to save this situation. And when people say to me, what can I do to help? My honest answer is, you can't help. You can't help because the irreversible brain damage has already occurred. These kids are ruined for life. There's no medicine, there's nothing that can turn that brain damage back. This has happened, and it was done knowingly. It was done knowing that they were drinking lead-filled water, at least since last February. They've known that. And it's you know, I wish there was like, we could put up like your kind program, an 800 thing or a website you could go to. But these children have been ruined. Now we can stop further ruining of other children and making it worse for them. But as of today, as NBC reported, not one lead pipe has been removed. Not one has been changed out for something safe. This has been going on now since he's announced it in October, since he declared his emergency, what, 3 weeks ago? Not one pipe removed and replaced. I'm telling you, this guy has no intention of doing anything. He has hired a crisis management PR firm from New York City, and that's why you're starting to see him make the rounds. Not on this network.
Right, he won't be on this show.
I'm sure he's been told not to come here.
No, we've invited him.
But he's made his rounds, and he is trying to PR this thing, but it's not going to work. When he says that there's 100 children have tested. Well, like Rachel said, remember the testing for lead only works for 48 hours. You can detect some traces maybe for 28 days, but it's only what lead they took in the last 48 hours. So if you're testing kids now who drank the water for 8 months, say, that damage has already been done, and it's left their bloodstream. It went into their brains, damaged the brain, left the body. That's it. You can't really test adequately for this. So anytime, I'm just saying to anybody listening to this, if they hear the governor make these statements, you must abide by the old Eye of Stone, this muckraking journalist who said, everything said by governments should not be believed. They should have to prove that they're telling the truth. You start with the assumption you're being lied to. And then maybe they're not lying, but make them prove what they're saying. And this guy, absolutely. But hopefully, my goal is to have him arrested. I want him arrested, and I want him put away for what he's done. I'm sorry to be so harsh.
No, I understand your feelings.
But I'm just, my town has gone through so much over these last 30 years with what they've done to the factories, the Wall Street, and now this. And now everybody's home is worthless now.
Yeah.
Who can sell their home in Flint?
Yeah.
The value of their homes, small as it was, is now zero.
Complete collapse of the small wealth that they had. Michael,
yes.
we'll take a break.
I'm sorry.
Here. We're going to be right back with more with Michael Moore.